Arvind Ravishunkar is a Silicon Valley-based AI innovation executive and venture architect specializing in enterprising AI strategy, commercialization, and startup incubation. As founder and CEO of Lens AI Innovation Studio, he leads the design and deployment of AI-powered business systems that convert frontier technologies into scalable, investable ventures. Previously, he led Wipro's Gen AI think tank, incubator, and technology strategy division, where he shaped enterprise-grade AI adoption across multiple sectors. Arvind is recognized globally for his ability to translate complex AI capabilities into commercial value, bridging the gap between deep research and market-ready solutions. His work spans AI product architecture, venture design, and ecosystem building across the United States, India, and emerging markets. He brings to the summit a practitioner's lens on how universities can structure innovation pipelines that attract investment and generate real economic impact. As the summit's lead keynote speaker and masterclass facilitator, Arvind anchors the global AI perspective. His deep experience converting AI technologies into investable business systems directly models the commercialization pathway BIV seeks to institutionalize. His presence validates the summit's global positioning and provides participants with actionable frameworks for AI-driven venture creation. Ladies and gentlemen, it's my pleasure to present to you Arvind Ravishunkar, lead keynote speaker.
Hi everybody. Distinguished Vice Chancellor, the Honorable Minister of Innovation, Science and Technology, who is going to arrive, esteemed faculty, industry leaders, innovators, investors, and my dear students. Good morning. Ika Ro. I am honored, I am really honored and thrilled to be part of such an exciting beginning, and to hear the Vice Chancellor's speech has just made me more excited about being here today. Congratulations to Babcock University on the launch of the Babcock University Innovation and Venture Center. It is very clear to me that the potential, this center has the potential to become the gateway to Africa's innovation-driven economic future. Across the world, we have seen how concentrated innovation ecosystems can lead and shape national growth. Let me give you some examples. The Bangalore ecosystem in India, the Silicon Valley ecosystem in the United States, Cambridge Silicon Fen in United Kingdom, Paris-Saclay in France, and Israel Startup Nation are just a few examples. Now, what is interesting is that while all of these ecosystems have served as engines of economic transformation, the most interesting thing is that at the heart of every one of these ecosystems is an esteemed educational institution like Babcock University. Stanford, University of Cambridge, Indian Institute of Science, and universities and research centers at Paris are all at the heart of every one of those innovation ecosystems. And when you build an ecosystem around an esteemed institution like Babcock University and connect it with industry leaders, venture capital, and government support, you create a truly powerful engine for economic growth. So once again, today, you are not just launching a center, you are launching and laying the foundation for a new kind of economic growth for Nigeria and the nation. So heartiest congratulations for me and everybody I represent. So today this brings me to my talk on artificial intelligence. Now AI no more is a technology, AI is an economic force. The question is not what is AI capable of, the question is how can I leverage artificial intelligence to create economic growth that is sustainable, that is responsible, and that can scale to the future. So today I want to talk to you about artificial intelligence and that kind of economic growth. And the key theme, just a minute, is it possible for us to get rid of this in my screen? If you click my screen, you should be able to get rid of this bar here. So the core topic that I want to talk about is how can AI enable you to build the future that you dream of, right? And I'm going to be giving this talk from 3 different angles. The first angle is how can AI empower each and every one of you personally? How can it unlock innovation for you personally? That is the first part of my talk. The second part of my talk is going to be about how can AI unlock innovation for industries, for enterprises, and for the nation. And finally, I will talk about what are the best practices from different parts of the world when it comes to artificial intelligence. So let's start off with you. How can AI unlock your personal power? Let's talk about that for a few minutes. So, I strongly believe, and I have seen this for myself, with artificial intelligence, if you can dream it, you can build it. The only thing that separates you and your success is your ability to dream. Because if you can dream it, you can build it. And over the next 10 minutes, I'm going to prove this to you. I'm going to prove it that with AI, if you can dream it, you can build it. So when you talk about innovation, when you talk about success, there are 2 major aspects or 2 parts to it. The first part is education, and the second part is execution. And let's look at how AI can impact both of these, right? So today, with artificial intelligence, you can learn anything your heart desires. From the deepest, most complex topics of quantum mechanics to the most simplest things like what color should I paint my house, or what do I buy my wife for my Thanksgiving gift. That is the level at which today you can learn from artificial intelligence. The ability to learn is limitless. And what is amazing about artificial intelligence is that you can learn things at the rate that you want. You can learn things in a way, an understanding that is familiar to you. So when I learn with AI, I learn based on my interest levels and how it makes sense to me. Now, not only can you learn anything you dream of, but with AI, you can build anything you desire. Not only can you learn about it, but you can turn around and execute it in the next 24 hours. That is the power of artificial intelligence. And in the past, and obviously I'm talking about the digital world, in the past, we have never had this kind of power in our hands. The power to learn and to build rapidly. And I will show you a few examples of this. So I don't mean this literally, I mean this in reality. Now, let me show you what I did with AI for myself as an example. Um, a lot of you are very familiar with this image. Iron Man is a very popular movie, and when this movie came out, we were introduced to the idea of Jarvis. Jarvis was Iron Man's personal assistant. Jarvis could do everything that Iron Man wanted. Jarvis could run his house. Jarvis could open his light shades. Jarvis could take out the trash. Jarvis could do everything for Iron Man. It could intellectually talk to him. It could help him build new creations. And when I saw Iron Man 8 years ago, it was always my dream to have Jarvis. I dreamt of having Jarvis forever. And till about 8 months ago, that was not a possibility. The technology did not exist. But I can tell you that in the last 8 months, I have built a version of Jarvis in my home. So today in my house, I have a version of Jarvis running where I have 20 mini AI agents that do multiple tasks for me in my house. And these AI agents are built on AI models. They connect to the cloud. They search the internet. They have 35 custom AI tools. All of this Jarvis AI agent is available to me on my phone when I'm here today in Nigeria, far, far away from home. And what are some of the things Jarvis can do for me and my wife and my family? Jarvis can track my health. So if I tell Jarvis what I eat every day, Jarvis keeps track of it, breaks it down as protein, carbohydrates, fats, tell me how much I should consume, how much I have not consumed. Jarvis keeps track of my medicines at home, and if I fall sick, Jarvis can tell me what medicines in my home are suitable for me. Jarvis keeps track of my finances. Every week, Jarvis is capable of creating a balance sheet of how much money I've spent, how much money I've earned. Jarvis tracks my registration, my insurance, all the things I always forget about. Jarvis tracks all of it for me. And the most amazing thing is that 8 months ago, I did not know a single line of programming. I could not program. I did not know what programming was 8 months ago. I took some classes, I did learn, and I learned from professors, really good professors, but then I accelerated my learning using artificial intelligence, and in 3 months, with the help of AI, I built Jarvis for myself. Now, why am I sharing this? The reason I'm sharing this is that I told you in the beginning, if you dream of it, you can build it. And I've seen this for myself. And today, as innovators, the first most important thing about innovation is tapping into your own personal power. And today, AI gives you that power. So I highly encourage each of you to first start your innovation journey by exploring the potential of AI for yourself. Anything you see in your society, anything you want yourself, today you can build it with artificial intelligence. And it wasn't just in my personal life. My company, we did the same thing. And the next most powerful thing about this whole concept is that I built Jarvis for under $100. That is what it costed me to build Jarvis. Because technology today is democratized. If you have a laptop, if you have access to a computer, you can build Jarvis. That's how powerful technology is today. And to be able to build this for less than $100, I could never have imagined that 8 months ago. Now, it's not, like I told you, it's not just in my personal life. In my professional life, in my company, I am a career strategist, and I help companies with strategy and innovation. That's what I do every day. So in my company, we decided that we will take what we do and we will build it in the form of AI. So today, we have built AI agents that can do market research, competitive analysis, customer analysis, technology evaluation. And it took us 6 months to do this. And we built it ourselves. We sat down and with the help of artificial intelligence, we built the first set of AI agents. And this is not just, vibe coding, right? You hear a lot about vibe coding. This is actually 120,000 lines of code behind that platform. And I'm proud to tell you that we launched this to market last week. And San Jose State University in the US has started adopting this to do their strategic planning. And they are saving tens of thousands of dollars because of this technology. So once again, 8 months ago, I did not know a single line of coding. And I'm of the very firm belief that artificial intelligence gives you the power to make your dreams come true. If you can dream it, you can build it. So with that as a starting note, let's talk about AI now from the standpoint of our society. Let's talk about AI from the standpoint of enterprises. What makes AI so powerful, and how do you unlock this power of AI for society? So, when it comes to society, AI will permeate all aspects of society in an accelerated pace. As the Vice Chancellor said today, it will reshape nations, it will reshape industries, it will reshape workflows, and it will change decision making. Now, is there any proof for this? Is this a hype? Is it just another one of those technologies that everybody glorifies and it's going to die away? Is that true? Why is it? There are so many technologies around us, right? There are speakers, there are mics, there's air conditioning, there's roadways, there's so many different technologies. Why is it suddenly that AI has gained so much attention? Why are people saying that AI will reshape how we work and think? The answer lies in the idea that AI is a general purpose technology. And every couple of decades, a general purpose technology comes into our lives. And that general purpose technology does something different. It dismantles all the existing systems and completely rebuilds them. Let me give you some examples that we all are very familiar with, and we can relate to how it changed our lives. The first one, going back to the 20s, is electricity. Think of how electricity is now a part of every aspect of our life. Without electricity, I won't be able to talk to you here today on this mic. I won't be able to show this presentation. None of us in our homes will have any productivity. There are no computers, nothing. Everything goes dark without electricity. Our complete life was rewired because of electricity. After electricity was computers in the 70s. Once again, completely reshaped the fabric of work and society. Then came the internet. Don't have to tell you how important the internet is. Today, when you look at utilities, after food and electricity, is internet and mobility. When I walked into Babcock University's grocery store, I found three things. One, in the same complex, I found food, then I found clothing, and the third thing I found was internet and mobility. That's what they were selling. That's how important mobility and the internet is in our life. AI today is that next technology. AI is a general purpose technology. A general purpose technology affects everything in our life. It comes into everything in our life in a good way. And let me show you a few interesting ways in which AI is going to shape different parts of our enterprises and our society. And this will also show us how we can unlock innovation from artificial intelligence. So let us take AI at an enterprise level. And when we look at a company is a set of different functions. So in a company you have marketing, you have customer support, finance, operations, sales, product development, research and R&D. You have all these different parts of a company. And when you look at them, they all look very different and they all serve very different functions. But if you play a closer look, there is something that connects all of these together, a common denominator, something similar about all these functions, and that is that every function is a workflow. Every one of these, whether it's sales, marketing, R&D, HR, each function is nothing but a set of human processes connected by data and tools and machines. That's all it is. Every function is a workflow. The minute you understand this, you start to realize that you can start to build AI agents for every one of those workflows. So anywhere where you can improve efficiency, anywhere where you can improve the human experience, anywhere you can improve productivity, you can start looking at how do you build AI agents. And if every one of those companies' functions is a workflow, and if every one of those workflows can now be redesigned because of this new intelligence layer that we have, you can start to imagine that in 5 years' time, an enterprise is going to look very, very, very different. It's not going to look the same. And this explains to you why AI, similar to electricity, is a general purpose technology, and general purpose technologies are very, very powerful technologies. So let's go from an enterprise level now to more an industry level and see what happens there. So when you look at AI at an industry level, let's take healthcare, finance, manufacturing, retail, just 4 simple industries as examples, right? There are hundreds more. Within an industry level, like in healthcare, you've got patient diagnostics, you've got consultation. In retail, you have e-commerce, you have logistics, you have general purpose stores. In finance, you have investment analysis. You have all of these different aspects of these industries. But again, there is a commonality today across all these industries, which is hidden behind all these industries is data. Every one of these industries, like if you think of today, the whole revolution that is happening in Nigeria in the fintech industry, at the back of it is all data, right? That's what it is. Today, when you look at money, digital currency, it's all data. When you put money in a bank, when you draw money from a bank, it's 100% digital or transactions. So data allows you to now start innovating. Once you understand that data drives many of these industries, processes drives many of these industries, then you can start looking at AI automation and insights. And there's a whole world of innovation that you can bring about in the area of AI automation and insights. So at a personal level, AI could be an innovator. At enterprise level, AI could be an innovator. And at an industry level, AI could be a part of innovation. So the only thing left to talk about then is, what about at a national level? What does AI do for us at a national level? Interestingly, when you go to the national level, the conversation changes a little bit. So let's talk about AI at a national level and how AI could drive innovation at a national level. Similar to how economies have benefited from the energy industry, in order to benefit from artificial intelligence, most countries are investing in this kind of a technology stack. This is the AI technology stack. If AI has to serve a purpose for us, this is the background layers that exist to make that AI serve that purpose for us. If you remove these layers, AI does not exist. And these 5 layers here are some of the most important layers of artificial intelligence, and every nation is investing in these 5 layers. Actually, let me take that back. Most nations want to invest in all 5 layers. Some nations are investing in the top layer, some nations at the bottom, some on all of them. So let's talk about them for a few minutes. Actually, let's start from the top. Let's go down to the bottom. At the top layer is AI applications, right? For example, ChatGPT is an AI application. It's the topmost layer. It's the layer that all of us interact with. It's the layer that all of us work with. It's a layer that we all know intimately well. And a lot of apps, there's going to be a ton of applications and companies that come up in that layer to build artificial intelligence innovation for everyday human life. ChatGPT is one of them, right? But beyond ChatGPT, there is an AI platform that underserves ChatGPT, and these platforms are the next layer. These are platforms that allow you to build applications like ChatGPT. And there are tons of them coming out. Hugging Face, you can go online and look at AI platforms. Everybody is building AI platforms to help you build AI, and that's the next layer. Sorry. The layer under that is then the model layer, right? The AI model layer is one of the most important layers, and this is the layer that has come in recently, which has changed everything. This is what you call GPT-5, Claude. You would have heard all of these different words. Anthropic, all of these AI models sit in that AI model layer, and they are the ones that power these applications like ChatGPT. And the layer below that is the cloud layer. So you need computing in order for you to drive these AI models. And then you need semiconductors to power the computers. So that's the entire vertical stack of artificial intelligence. And today, for example, China is heavily investing in their own AI models. You have heard of DeepSeek, you have heard of all of Alibaba's own models, Quen. They are investing in their own AI models. India is investing heavily in cloud computing and semiconductors. Why are these nations investing in this? Why are the nations not adopting AI technologies purely from other nations? And the reason for this is because AI has become a part of every nation's national strategy. So the question you have to ask yourself is, do you want another country to have access to the data of your country? Because if you have an AI model that you are using today, and that AI model sits in another country, and you send your data to that country, do you want your data? Now, some data doesn't matter, right? Like my financial accounts, I'm happy to share with AI and get advice. But if I have a defense strategy, do I want to use AI from another country to look at my defense strategy? So this is why nations are starting to build and invest in every layer of this particular stack. So when you look at innovation at a national level and a national strategy, and when Babcock looks at innovation, the AI technology stack will become a really important part of how you drive AI innovation, both at a university level and at a national level, right? So these are some ways or some aspects of artificial intelligence that affect industries, affect societies, and affect our personal life. So with this, I want to transition to the third topic that I told you that we will talk about. We spoke about personal AI power, and we spoke about societal AI power. Now let's talk about some of the things that make this happen. And this is why when distinguished Vice Chancellor and Charles, when they invited me to be part of this event, I was really, really thrilled, because what they are doing is the foundations for building this kind of innovation. And let me show you why. Oh, sorry, before that, we all like numbers, and I can tell you about AI all day long, but if it doesn't translate to economic benefit, then there's no point. So rather than me quote numbers, I pull a direct quote from the managing director of Microsoft in Nigeria. So based on her calculations and her estimation, Nigeria could reap about $58 billion of economic benefit from artificial intelligence. And when you look at all of Africa, I think it was about 138. So Nigeria is a huge portion of that economic boom, right? So let's dive into our last topic for today, which is the four most important aspects of driving this kind of AI innovation. Number one, education is completely changing because of artificial intelligence. And the pace at which things are changing is profound. So, like, if you look at the iPhone, today Apple releases a new iPhone into the market every 9 months. An entire product is redesigned, upgraded, new features are brought in, tested, manufactured, put into every retail store within 9 months. That's the time it takes for Apple to bring out a new iPhone. So now, if you then take artificial intelligence, on average, it's taking companies a couple of months to bring out new AI models. That's the speed at which AI innovation is happening. And so, theoretical knowledge alone, if you purely rely on reading, and if you purely rely on theoretical knowledge, the odds of success become very low. So experiential education, being able to test, refine, build, prototype, and this is where students being able to do this when they come to the university, it's priceless. It is priceless. If every student is able to prototype, build, test on their own from the day one, the potential is so huge. So experiential education is the first most important foundation for this kind of innovation. The second one, after experiential education, could you move my slide? I'm not able to get to the next slide. The next one is an innovation ecosystem. So we can have all the best ideas in the world, but as an entrepreneur, as a person who has an idea, you need to be supported by a very strong ecosystem to see that idea come to life. Now, I looked at 10 major successful billionaires from Nigeria. I studied these 10 billionaires, and what I found in common on all 10 of them is they were able to capitalize on ecosystems around them to get to where they got to. So without that innovation ecosystem, entrepreneurs cannot succeed. Why is that? Why is this innovation ecosystem so important? Now, an innovation ecosystem isn't a man-made idea, right? Today we started the day talking about God. So let's think of God's innovation ecosystem. God's innovation ecosystem is a mother's womb. When you are born, those 9 months that you spend that in a protected environment, a nurturing environment, an environment that only cares about your success, an environment that defends you from all the things that could harm you, an environment that gives you the ability to grow, and an environment that nourishes you. That is what an incubator has to be. And if we draw on the very example of creation, we can build some of the best incubators for entrepreneurs, and they need it. So innovation ecosystems, and the fact that Babcock University is building this innovation ecosystem is one of the most powerful things for an entrepreneur in this economy. The third aspect, when you build these innovation ecosystems, to draw from them, I think it's really important to be global, learn from other nations, and draw from the best, but solve local. Every successful ecosystem, every successful entrepreneur has solved local problems before they went global. Let me give you some examples. So, when you look at the Indian ecosystem, at the foundation of the Indian ecosystem, before India became, or before Bangalore became a startup hub, there was a huge talent, technology outsourcing industry already existed. Wipro, TCS, Infosys, they had all built a massive technology industry, and that talent existed in India. So on top of that technology outsourcing talent, there was a core local problem that entrepreneurs solved, which is India had a growing middle class. And that middle class had needs. They had demands. They wanted to live a convenient life. They wanted to live a good life, a high quality life. So entrepreneurs took that technology background and they started building products and services for the middle class of India, leading to the growth of the nation. So they solved a local problem. Now, it doesn't, every country's local challenges are different. So every country's strength is different. So when you look at Israel, for example, in Israel, there was a huge amount of military talent. People who came out of the military who understood technology deeply. There was also a huge amount of government funding and intervention. Based on these strengths, entrepreneurs in Israel solved three problems. All three were local problems. Number one, survival, defense, survival and defense against other nations that could harm Israel. The second one was scarcity. Israel went through a period where they had a lot of scarcity for food. So entrepreneurs solved agricultural problems using technology. So you know today Israel is known for the technology in agriculture and security, right? So entrepreneurs in these countries tapped into local problems, solved them, but leveraged global technology. India did the same thing. For example, Flipkart, India's largest retailer, is similar to Amazon, or Ola, or any Uber, any of these. They leverage technologies, but they solve local problems. And that is where the power lies. Understanding, so for Nigeria, and as Babcock embarks on this new journey, it is very important for us to understand what are our strengths, what do we hold passionate, what is it that we want to make true in this world. And from there, you solve the local problems in order for you to build your startup ecosystem and get it there. And I think to a large degree, this is already happening, right? The fintech revolution that's happening in Nigeria is a direct example of this. So be global, but solve local. And I think that will drive innovation heavily. The last point that I would like to make is about the culture of giving back. In all of these innovation ecosystems that I worked in, I have found that one of the most important, it is not talked about a lot, it is underestimated, but it is the most powerful. Any entrepreneur in these ecosystems can pick up the phone and talk to any mentor. Anybody who has succeeded coming out of an ecosystem, in any of these innovation ecosystems, will be more than happy to get on a phone call with a budding entrepreneur and tell them what they did. Help them, advise them, get on phone calls, get into coffee shops, sit down, brainstorm, run sessions, run workshops, come to these innovation centers, present ideas, show what happened. So it is so important for people who are successful in the community to be actively engaged, to help these entrepreneurs, mentor them, chat with them, conduct classes, provide resources. I can tell you in every ecosystem, like the ecosystem I'm in Silicon Valley, so many people have supported me. So many people pick up my phone call, give me advice, talk to me all the time, and they expect nothing in return. That ecosystem, that ability, it makes me feel intensely secure when I have that kind of a support ecosystem around me. So it is really important for all the industry leaders who have joined us today, all of the successful businessmen and women, to be a part of the ecosystem and give back. Your support is what will allow this ecosystem to grow. So with that, I would like to wish Babcock University the most successful takeoff in building a future that you dream of, a future that you want. And I wish you all the best. Thank you.